Yes, welcome back once again to our channel VAAGAI Academy of Mathematics, and this is a playlist where you can find video lessons for class 11 CBSE applied mathematics. Yes, so we have successfully completed the first 3 chapters of time and work, and now we are into chapter 4 of time and work. And here this session we are about to see what if we get a problem based on remuneration sharing. That is, if there are some 2 or more people assigned for a task or some for a work, they are working on it together and they are completing the task also. Then if some total amount is paid for them, in what way they will be sharing that amount? This is what we call it as remuneration sharing. Okay. So if you get a question of this kind, then what approach you have to take in order to solve that problem? That's what we are going to see here in this session using a good problem. Yes, we'll directly get into the problem. Yes, our question here with us is A and B can individually complete a work in 25 days and 40 days respectively. So we have a very big question, it seems. So let's try to understand the question in each and every part. Okay, we'll take it as parts. We'll try to understand each part. So A and B, when they work individually, it takes 25 days and 40 days for them to complete the work respectively, it is given. So in that case, there are 2 people, A and B. So A alone can do the work in 25 days, and next B alone, if he is going to work, B alone can complete the work in 40 days. So this is when they work alone. That's what is given in the question. Yes, continue. They started to work together and after some days A left. So what do you mean by this? So they both are working, they both started to work together, and now what happens is they are working for some days, and after that some days what happens? A left, A is leaving off. But we are not sure about how many days, that initial number of days are there, right? So how many days they are working together, that we have no idea. Okay, let it be. And next, continue. Then the remaining part of the work was completed by B in the next 14 days. This is also a very important information here. So the beginning part, A and B, both of them are working, but we are not sure about how many days it is. Then later A is going to leave off. Now who is there? B alone is there. Now that remaining part of the work, right? I mean, after that beginning part is over, there will be some part of the work left over, right? That remaining leftover part of the work is completed by whom? Is completed by B. That's what is given here, by B alone in the next 14 days. So B is sitting there, B is completing that leftover part in the next 14 days. This is what is given. Next, if a total of rupees 15,000 is being paid, then find the share of B. So now this work is done by both A as well as B. That's what, right? So both of them will be having that share. So they are getting a total of 15,000 rupees. Now it is the time for them to share the money, right? Share this amount. In the case of sharing, what will be the share of B? That is, B will be getting how much rupees? This is the question. So now we have got a very clear idea about the question. Let's take the other data one by one and we'll try to solve this problem. Yes? Okay, fine. So we'll just make a construction first of all in order to get a better clarity, so that it will be very easy for us to solve the problem. Yes? Yeah. Now where we left, we have taken this data and continue. They started to work together and after some days A left and B is completing the remaining work in 14 days. Now let's do a thing. Let me just draw a line something like this. We'll draw a line like this. Why this line is, actually this line will actually we'll just take this line to be that entire work. Whatever work they are doing, that entire work corresponds to this line. This line represents, this entire line represents that work. We'll have it to be like this. Now I'm going to take it like one part here, the other part here. We'll have it like this. I mean, this first part is where A and B, both of them are working. I hope it is clear to you. This entire work, the first part, A and B, both of them are working together. And after these many days, what happens? A is going to leave. A left. Then this remaining part of the work is there, right? Now this is completed by whom? This is completed by B. And what is this span? I mean this duration. This is clearly given in the question itself. The remaining part of the work is completed by B in the next 14 days. Remaining is completed by B in 14 days. This is very clearly given. So that means we are very sure about the second part's duration. It is 14 days. But we are not sure about how many days this first part consists of. Right? Yeah, okay. And B is completing this remaining part in 14 days. That's it. And what is the total money they are paid? They are paid a total of 15,000 rupees. I will take this 15,000 somewhere here. Okay. So 15,000 rupees is the total amount they are paid. And after that they are going to share. What is the share of B? This is going to be the entire question. Fine. Yes. Now let us construct a very clear cut equation which would help us to get the answer very easily. Right? Yes. Now here this first part we are not sure about how many days they are working. Yes, right? So let me do a thing. I will take this first part to be some X days. Let A and B, they both worked together, right? That first part. I am going to take that part to be X days. Then I can clearly frame an equation like this. Like what? See here. Now A and B are working together. See, what is 1 day's work of A? A is actually completing the work in 25 days. In that case, A in 1 day, how much part of the work A would have completed? It would be nothing but 1 by 25 parts. Am I right? Yes. Plus B, come to B. B is doing that same work in 40 days. Then what would be the 1 day's work of B? It would be 1 by 40. Is it or not? So in that case, I am putting 1 by 40 here. So I hope this part is very clear to you. 1 day work I am going to calculate. 1 day work of A is 1 by 25 and same 1 day work of B will be 1 by 40. And they are working together. That's the reason I am just adding up. And they are working together for how many days? They are working for X days. That's how we assumed it, right? So for X days they are going to work. So in X days they would have completed this much part of the work. Right? Yes. Again put a plus. Why a plus? See, this calculation what we have made so far, this corresponds to the first, the beginning part of this work only. We have another part here, right? B alone working for another 14 days, right? For that also we have to make another component right here in this equation. That's what we are going to do now. And come here, and here who is working? Here B alone is working. Again come to B. B's 1 day work is how much? B can do the work in 40 days, and in that case B will be able to finish 1 by 40th of the work in 1 day. And in this manner B is working for how many days? Here in the second part B works for 14 days. So what I am going to do is 14 times. So this will be equal to the complete work. So how do we take the complete work? So everything here we are taking in terms of fraction. In that case, that complete work, how do we represent? Always the complete work would be 1. So whenever we play with fraction method, we try to solve our problem with the fraction method, it always means that we are taking the total work to be 1. That only represents all these things in terms of fractions. Okay, yes, fine. So yeah, let's try to solve this equation first of all. So if we do so, what happens is I will have x times of, so here we can take the LCM, right? So let me not elaborate the steps, we have only small space, and I will also see that you understand the steps also. Okay, so 25 and 40, so we can have 200 to be the LCM, if I am right. Yes, 200, yeah, 200 will be the LCM. It's very easy for us to understand. Okay, don't confuse much. See the two numbers we have here. Here I have 25 and 40. That's it, right? The bigger among them is 40 is the bigger number, right? So go use 40 tables. Go think of 40 tables. 40 ones are 40. No, 40 is not divisible by 25. Go for 42s are 80. No, again not divisible by 25. 43s are 120. No, not divisible. 44s are 160. Again not divisible by 25. 45s are 200. Yes, 200. Well and good. It is divisible by 25, and in that case 200 is the LCM of 25 and 40. That's it. So coming to the numerators, so 25 and 200, it is exactly 8 times, right? And in that case numerator also becomes 8. So 1 8s are, I will have 8 here, plus Here 40 and 200, this is going to be 5 times, so numerator also into 5 times, so 1 5s are, it's going to be 5, so that I will get 8 plus 5 here, which would be 13. This entire thing I'm just making in terms of a single step itself, okay, yes. But anyways, I hope it is clear to you how we are making it. Anyways, I'll quickly just revise it. LCM, I'm going for it. It is 200. This is 8 times, so 1 8s are 8. And this is 5 times, so 1 5s are 5. That 8 plus 5 is what? I made it as 13. Okay. This will be equal to, and here I'm going to chase this 14 by 40. Actually, I have 14 into 1 by 40. This is nothing but 14 by 40 only. Is it or not? So 14 by 40. If I take it to the other side, what happens? So I have already 1 here. So 1 minus 14 by 40 it will become. So just simplify it. 40 minus 14 will be actually 26 by 40. Alright, yes. If you take LCM there, you would get 40 by 40 minus 14 by 40. So that's what I've subtracted. 40 minus 14 will be 26. So 26 by 40. I made it. Yes. Now we have to calculate the value of x. I think this space is enough for us. So x will be equal to, numbers are very easy for us to do the simplification. So I'm going like 13 2s are this 26, and here I've got 40 and 200, this is 5 times. So that means it's very easy for me to say x is equal to, here it is like 1 by 5, here it is like 2 by 1. That's it, right? So x will be equal to 5 2s are 10. That's it. So I got the value of x is equal to 10. That means, what is the meaning here? This initial part, I mean A and B, they have worked together, right? For some span, for some duration. That duration is what is this? 10 days. Because that is what we assume to be x. So in that case, initially they have worked for 10 days. Fine. Okay. All these things are over. So now we are very sure about A and B. They worked for the first 10 days. Then A left. Then B is working for the next 14 days. The work got over. Work is completed. Everything is fine. But finally, we have our point. What is the point given in the question? They are totally earning 15,000 rupees. My question is, find the share of B. That's my question, right? So what is the share of B? B will be getting how much? That is our question. So how should we share the total remuneration? This is what matters. This is our question. Okay. It is very simple for us to understand. Whenever we need to share some money, always keep this one in your mind. What is that is? How much amount that will be belonging to them is nothing but will be based on how much work, how much part of the work they have completed out of the total work. This is what, that's it. Is the point clear? So out of the total work, what part of the work an individual is doing will be, that is what is going to be affecting, or based on that is what that remuneration will be paid also. This is what you have to understand. So always whenever this remuneration coming, keep this in mind. So I'll just intimate it here itself. So remuneration will be shared based on, that sharing will be based on how much part of the work is done. How much part of the work is done. Let me just write it here itself so that it will be easy for your views. That's why. Okay. Yeah, fine. So in that case, we need the share of B, is it or not? So what thing we have to now concentrate is, B has done how much part of the work, that we have to think. If that is calculated, then very easy for us to say what is the share of B, because we know the total amount is 15,000. So what part of work is done by B, that we will calculate. It's very easy. So B's share will be equal to, see here, what part of the work is done by B, that we have to think. It's again very simple for us to understand. See, what is the total number of days B is working? Total number of days. Here there are only two people, A and B. Here A is working for only the first part, I mean this first 10 days. But what about B? B is working for the entire duration, entire span. That means this beginning first 10 days and last 14 days. So a total of 24 days B is working, right? So in that case, 24 days B is working into, what is B's 1 day's work? B's 1 day's work will be, actually B can complete the entire work in 40 days. So that means B's 1 day work will be nothing but 1 by 40. So out of the total work, 24 by 40 of the part will be completed by B. Is the point clear? and the rest will be completed by A, obviously. Yes, because there are only two people, they have completed the work. In that case, if this portion is completed by one person, the other remaining would have been completed by the other person. That's it. Okay, so I'll just again repeat the point. B is going to work for the entire 10 plus 14, 24 days, and for one day B would have worked 1 by 40 of the part, and for 24 days 24 into 1 by 40, or in other words 24 by 40 of the work. So this is what would have done by B. I mean, this part of work is what is completed by B, and this much portion from the total remuneration should be shared to B. This is what should come to B. That's it. So in that case, what I can do is just multiply this fraction once again by 15,000. So this 24 corresponds to the number of days, and this 1 by 40 corresponds to the work, the amount of work or the part of work done in one day. So this entire thing represents totally, out of the total work, how much portion of the work is done by B. So that I have calculated into the total amount. I mean 15,000, the money which has been given here, right? The total amount 15,000. So this is what will belong to B, and now we will calculate this. This will give the answer very easily. So if I go for this, I can easily cancel with some 4 tables. First of all, this is 4 6s are, this is 4 10s are, and again I can cancel this and this 0, so that I would get 6 into 1500. So 6 into 1500 will be nothing but 9,000 rupees. So B's share out of this total 15,000 would be 9,000 rupees. Let me write it here. So answer is rupees 9,000. So it's a very good question for you to work out or understand remuneration, and at the same time this is a bit twisty question. Like, you have two parts in which the work is done, right? The beginning, initial part, both of them are working, and then the other part, only one person is working. So with that, we are working, and we are finally finding what we are finding, how many days they have worked in the beginning part, that we are finding. And next, in order to find the share of B, what we are doing, what part of the work is done by that individual person, I mean B here in this question. So B is doing what portion of the work, that into the total money that we are multiplying, and that is giving us the answer for the share of B. That's it. Yes, fine. I hope it is clear to you, and this is how you have to work out any question that is based on remuneration sharing, and always be sure about what part of the work is done by that individual person, and that will finish the problem. And obviously, if out of 15,000, if 9,000 is going for B, then obviously what would be the share of A? That's easy for us to say, right? 15,000 minus this 9,000, you can just remove 6,000. The balance 6,000 will be going for A. And you can do the same calculation. I mean, A's part of the work into 15,000. You can even try that way. You will again end up with the same answer, 6,000 there also. Okay, yes, fine. Yeah, fine. Have a clear look. Once again, see this question, rewind this video and see this question for a better understanding. And I hope this problem, what we have worked out here, is very, very clear to you. Let me come this side. So very clear to you, all these steps and everything is clear to you. And if at all any doubts you have, please post it in the comment box, and when I see them, I will definitely rectify your doubts. Yes, fine. And we have one more chapter, chapter 5. There we have to see problems based on pipes and cisterns. I'll give an idea about solving pipes and cisterns. What do you mean by negative work? All those things we'll see there in the next chapter, I mean in the chapter 5. And see you soon there. Thank you so much.